Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Blogger News on the radio. My name is Simon Barrett, and this is another in our News in Review series. We're going to be exploring the week's events in the very sad Kaylee Anthony story. Joining me in the studio is my wife, Jan.
Hello, everyone.
And I am very, very pleased to announce that the ever-entertaining Sean Krause of DailyBS.com is with us again. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, Simon.
Oh, and Sean
yes,
is becoming quite the TV star these days. Last week it was Greta Van Susteren, and I understand you're on Headline News tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be on before Nancy Grace. Jean, I forget her name.
Jane Velez-Mitchell.
Yeah, I'll be on her show tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm surprised that, you can find time to talk to us lowly mortals.
Well, it's a Sunday. Nobody does anything on Sunday except pray.
Right. And this week, we have another panelist with us, author and broadcaster Denny Griffin. Hi, Denny.
Simon, thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Denny is an interesting guy. His latest book about mobster-turned-government witness Frank Carlotta actually solved an almost 30-year-old murder case. He also sent me an email this morning, which I have to admit, I just cracked up when I read it. It was a quote from his wife. My wife pointed out that of my 5 closest business associates and friends, 3 are former mobsters. What kind of life do you lead, Denny?
Not a very sheltered one, I guess.
Right, I would say not. Our switchboard number, if there are some listeners who want to call in with questions and comments, is area code 646-378-1120, and we do have lines open, so please give us a call. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's happened in the past week. Sean, you've been MIA for about 3 weeks, so I guess I'm going to pick on you first.
That's fine.
What's all this about the George Anthony suicide deal?
Well, honestly, I think that's more of a publicity stunt more than anything else. I look at it this way. They're not dumb. This whole entire family is not dumb at all. I don't buy, if you're going to commit suicide, you're going to do it. You're not going to sit there and call your friends and send text messages and, I'm going to kill myself. Woo-hoo. Please, spare me the BS details. The way I look at it is that, George Anthony, between Cindy and George, both of them have some issues. They need to sit down and reevaluate their marriage. They really do. And what do? They sit there and bitch and complain, and that's what they do in front of the media. I don't know why George decided to want to off himself. He wants to go to heaven because of Kaylee. I just don't get it. What does this media publicity stunt do? All it does is that, it allows them to sit there and, create public sympathy. And then all of a sudden, they're going to be like, oh, we'll donate to the Help Kaylee Fund. Buy a bracelet, buy a T-shirt. Help Casey's Defense Fund. And buy George's medication, even though he doesn't need it.
I have to admit, my very first thought was that it was that they were using him to try something else with. That was my very first thought about it. I mean, I really would hate to think that the man would actually try to commit suicide, but it's just a little bit convenient at the timing right now. I thought maybe that they were kind of using him to say that he was going to commit suicide, so that way they can go the sympathy plea to keep the prosecutors from going for the death penalty with Casey. Because to say, well, you know, the family is so distraught losing their granddaughter, now they can't lose their daughter too to death in with the death penalty. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion, of course. But
Denny, what's your theory about this whole suicide issue?
Well, I have come to the point that I'm extremely skeptical of anything involving the Anthonys. I don't take anything they do at face value. And I think I can say I share Sean's opinion on this. And one of the posters on my blog, I posted something about the suicide business, and one of the posters indicated that they thought that perhaps this was a ploy for various reasons, one of which might give the defense lawyer something to work with at trial if George is going to provide damaging testimony about Casey, like the death smell in the trunk of the car and so forth, that maybe if he's got mental issues that might somewhat neutralize his testimony. I'm not a lawyer. I have no idea if that would work, but that is some of the speculation involved.
Yeah, I think that they would be willing to go as far as to use the man like that. I really think that that's a big possibility.
It certainly wouldn't surprise me any.
Dennis, I forgot to do this in the introduction. What is the address of your website?
It's www.dennis, DENNISN, as in Norman, Griffin, GRIFFIN.com. DennisandGriffin.com.
It is well worth a visit. I mean, Denny's the only person I know that hangs out with ex-mobsters. Okay, the other item that cropped up this week, and there's been little official mention about it, are movie deals and the potential unloyally antics that maybe our favorite defense attorney Jose Baez has been active in pursuing. Anyone got any thoughts on that one?
Well, the way I look at it is that Jose Baez is going to try to make as much money as he can, whether it's through whatever TV or movie deal. Quite frankly, I think that it's just BS. He shouldn't be sitting there negotiating deals for his client. His client should be sitting there rotting in prison, thinking about what the hell she did, not sitting there making $1 million deals to present her story. Screw that. Because I'll tell you this, there will be no way in hell that I'll ever allow Lifetime or some other network to ever do anything for Casey Anthony.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
Yeah, and Sean perhaps could answer this, or Jane, or any of you. There's been a lot of talk about, are all these people on the Anthony defense team, Casey's defense team, working pro bono?
Denny, you beat me to the punchline.
Okay. And I find it hard to believe that. I mean, they got private investigators, they got all these forensic experts and lawyers and so on. And I know that perhaps some of them are doing it for a book deal or a movie deal or something, looking for something down the road. But is everybody associated with this operation all doing it for free?
Henry Lee got on Nancy Grace's show and said that he was doing it pro bono.